have no doubt they will coexist. Kyrie needs to be able to play freely and just be himself and let KD be the leader and the playmaker. I think Kyrie will fall in line. After he left Cleveland, he called Bron to apologize to him. He realized that he is not that dude and that he needs to play alongside a guy like KD. Chris, we equated this earlier this morning to dating somebody versus moving in with them, and the kicker seems to be the fall in line phrase. Your take on this?
I think Kyrie will fall in line. What? And here's why. Because, look, we know we're talking about a year from now. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about next season. We're not talking about a few months. We're talking about the 2020-21 season.
Correct.
Okay? Kyrie will have had a year where they're okay. They're not going to do anything special. Best case scenario, they fight for home court advantage in the first round and get to the second round of the playoffs. And that'll be a good year, but that's what it'll be. So this will have been 3 straight years now for Kyrie without a LeBron, without a KD type player, and he goes out early in the playoffs, goes out in the second round. And so just like after this season and all the hardships, he realized how much he needed LeBron James and how much of a value it was to have a teammate like that. I think by the time KD gets back, Kyrie will be open arms like, hey, I need a guy like that to win a championship. I mean, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I think, too, this season coming up for Kyrie Irving is going to be all about his improvement as a leader. And I think he can improve for these reasons. Number one, Kyrie, as big a problem as he was in Boston, and as big a part of the problem as he was not the only problem, okay? A lot of it was those young guys having success without him and coming back with a different attitude. Not only on attitudinally, but on the court. A lot of them all of a sudden wanted to go ISO and not run in the offense and stuff. So that was a factor. Then you got the Gordon Hayward situation, which Brad Stevens mishandled. That was a factor. So it wasn't just Kyrie's lack of leadership. It was these other things that conspired. And here's the proof. When he first got there to Boston, before Hayward's became a problem, before the young guys got big-headed, Kyrie led them to a 22-4 start. They were 22-4, and when he got hurt his first year in Boston, they were 46-21. That is a 68-win pace over 82 games. And so, not a 68-win pace, but that's a 58-win pace. Okay, so Kyrie has success there, and then I know he's got relationships in Brooklyn. Also, he chose Brooklyn. Remember, when he demanded a trade out of Cleveland, Boston was not on the list. Okay, so even though he went there, that necessarily isn't where he wanted to be. So I think now, for the first time in his career, because look, at first he goes to Cleveland, you got no help, you're losing. So you're not going to be happy. Then LeBron gets there, and Kyrie was immature and thought, I can have my own team. I don't need LeBron, and he wasn't happy. Then he goes to Boston. Well, this isn't really where I wanted to be. Wasn't on my top 4 list. I'm not happy. Now you chose Brooklyn, okay? You're at home. This is your childhood team. I think he's going to fall in line, as Kendrick Perkins would say.
Go ahead, Skip. You and Perk got way more confidence in Kyrie than I do.
The Kyrie Irving I know of will fall in line for nobody. And Kendrick Perkins loves him some Kevin Durant, but he did him no favors with that line, which sometimes just spills out of your mouth and then you can't get it back because it's out there. Wrong terminology to use with Kyrie Irving. He did hit Game 7 closing shot. He won Game 7 with a last-minute shot.
Maybe the biggest shot in NBA history, arguably.
Could be. And the corollary to your scenario for next year is, what if they win 2 rounds of the playoffs? What if he has a shocking year? What if he averages 30-plus points and has, Shannon brought it up earlier, what if he has a big year? What if he gets off to that kind of start and they stay hot all year and he loves them and they love him and he tries to show everybody, I can lead this team and I'm going to be a little different? I just don't know if, it's to use Shannon's analogy, it's you're dating and then suddenly you're living together. These guys are besties from a distance right now. And they played All-Star Weekend together a couple times. They played Team USA for a little month at a time.
Yep.
But they haven't done this for 82 games. They are both ISO dominant players. They lead this league in moody hypersensitivity, both of them. These two, they lead it. And they clicked because they were birds of this feather. They realized each of them had thin skin and they had issues, and they're always picking fights and having to battle with everybody. They're always having issues with media, social media. And they bonded because of that. But then can you live together, to your point? I don't know. I have my doubts about it, especially when the seed gets planted in Kyrie's psyche that Kevin, because he's going to think that Kevin told Kendrick this, oh, Kyrie will fall in line. And Kyrie's think he'll brood about it. It'll fester in his psyche. And again, you get a honeymoon year because there's no Kevin next year. But then after that, depending on the outcome next year, I'm not sure Kyrie is open to falling in line.
Here's the thing. I think these two are so close